Yeah, and that's interesting. Another one that stood out to me in these results so far is Griffith, Brisbane's inner southern suburbs. Of course, it used to be Kevin Rudd's seat, but now held by the Greens. There's this massive discussion about the Greens' influence this election. Is it looking to stay that way? What do we know so far?
So Griffith is a really interesting one. I had been of the opinion in my mind that Max Chandler-Mather has the largest margin of any of the Greens in Queensland at 10%, and therefore he would be sitting quite happily and quite safe. And his primary vote, based on our exit polling, has also increased. But there's a bit of an interesting characteristic here, right, that we saw at the Queensland state election as well, where a state Greens member was effectively knocked out of their seat because while they came first on the primary vote, Labor came in second. And when you distribute the LNP's votes, they tend to go to Labor more than they go to the Greens, and that ultimately pushes Labor above the Greens. And what we're seeing in Griffith now, well, in 2022, Labor came in third, which was a really disappointing result for Labor in a seat that used to be held by a Labor Prime Minister. But at the moment, Labor is sitting on their primary vote at second in Griffith, and Labor sources tell me that they expect at this stage for something similar to happen as had happened in the state seat of South Brisbane. So it's really one to watch. I doubt we'll know it on the night of the election itself.
I know we're getting so close. It's so great to have these exit polls, though, just kind of get an idea of where we're at. What about if we go more north to far north Queensland? Of course, Leichhardt, that's been a top target for the Albanese government. Do you think Labor's likely to win based on these recent exit polls?
Based on this recent exit polls, yes, but I don't think Labor or the LNP are, declaring victory or loss at this stage. Again, it's one of those seats where it's got a popular LNP member who's retiring. This time it's Warren Entsch for the second time. The last time Labor won Leichhardt, it involved Mr. Entsch retiring, and Labor's hoping that they can repeat that again. They have, their candidate, Matt Smith, is quite well known in the community. He's also incredibly tall, so you can kind of notice him wherever you go. And the LNP have pre-selected Jeremy Neal, a long-time paramedic. I would note that Opposition Leader Peter Dutton actually hasn't been to Leichhardt just yet, and that hasn't gone unnoticed in the community. So I wonder whether we can expect Mr. Dutton to be there shortly to try and boost Mr. Neal's primary vote.
Yeah, of course, because we know as well Anthony Albanese went there early on as well, proving that it was a top target for the Albanese government. When we look at Victoria's Goldstein, I mean, that's still very much in doubt, too close to call. There are some big issues there. It's anti-Semitism is a key focus, a big issue there, of course, over the past 12 months. That's been brought even more into the spotlight. The Teal independents, though, a big factor here. Can they hold on? I'm really unsure. So Tim Wilson's obviously coming back to take his seat back. And his primary vote has increased based on our exit polling, but so has Zoe Daniel. So I think it depends on where the preferences ultimately flow. Both Labor and the Greens are seeing a bit of a depression in their primary vote based on our exit polling there. So I'm unsure as to how, in the great unknown flow of preferences, who will end up ahead. I mean, support for Peter Dutton's coalition has risen by nearly 3% since 2022, but the coalition really needs to lift its standing. And these are the key seats that it needs to do that in. I mean, even if we look at South Australia's Sturt, Liberals look to lose this seat to Labor as well. But this loss would essentially make the coalition's path to power almost impossible, right?
Yes, and it would also mean, the loss of another what would be referred to as a moderate Liberal in James Stephens. Labor has been hunting Sturt for such a long time, similar to Leichhardt. They keep saying that, yes, we can win it this time, and then they don't. But our exit polling shows that they're perhaps closer than they have ever been. And it'll come down to the wire. A Labor source told me yesterday that, a seat like Sturt will be won and lost in these final days of the campaign. So I expect a big push.
Madura, thank you so much. It's always lovely to chat with you and get you to describe this and exactly what's going on so far. These exit polls are always interesting to watch as we near the finish line of the election campaign. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.